Hey everyone, welcome to the Active Towns channel. My name is John Zimmerman, and today I am in Alkmaar in the province of North Holland, just here to explore and check out the city. So let's turn the camera around and have some fun. One of the first things that you notice when you get off the platform, off the train, come down the platform, you've got a grocery store right here at the central station, and immediately, as you frequently see in these small towns, you've got a nice red paved road which is sending out a message that this is going to be shared space. But you also have what we have right over here, which is the bicycle storage. Looks like you've got a pretty crowded ramp of folks who have left their bikes here. And of course you have your Ove Fiets checkout station here, as well as folks who are getting some service done on their bikes. Okay, and here's some Ove Fiets being returned right now. Let's head out into the city and see what this is like. My primary purpose of this trip, getting outside of your typical big 3 or 4 cities that everybody visits, is to give you a little bit of an idea of what it feels like out in some of these smaller communities off the beaten path. And as you can tell already, yeah, you do have a fair amount of motor vehicles all around you, but at the same time, you've got nice, safe infrastructure in place. So much so that, families are able to get out and explore, get to their meaningful destinations quite easily. You have kind of your standard sort of bike lane treatment here with cars. Not ideal, but with incredibly low speeds of motor vehicles, it's certainly doable. What a beautiful setting with the little canal right here, folks motoring along in their boat. Older couple just sort of riding. It's just about lunchtime, so they might be heading to lunch somewhere. Across the water over here, you'll see a church in the distance. We've got a windmill over in this area. And it looks like we've got a bridge over the water. I'm gonna take this bridge. I'm gonna go check out what this environment's like over here. And Dad and his son Just motoring along. How pleasant is this? Nice little green area with beautiful flowers, bringing us into this nice old historic street. Very nice. It's a little cool today, just a little bit of a breeze. You can see some pretty threatening clouds up ahead. I would not be surprised if we get some pretty brisk winds and heavy rain later or soon. Very nice. Back towards that busy road. We're going to stay away from that busy road. Let's go along this canal for just a little bit. Probably not a bad idea to stop for lunch myself. Sounds like I've got a truck behind me. Well, I called that right. It was literally a Nissan truck with a trailer. Again, very cool little boat activity here. Folks having a good time. You see this is a school street area. And some of the quiet side streets. Beautiful city here. Love these. Love the architecture and some of these quiet side streets. Quite nice. A little alleyway there. Definitely get the sense that water is a key feature to this city. It seems like every time I turn the corner, there's another little canal or a waterway. I understand the city is quite famous for its cheese and cheese market. I'm not sure what that really means, if it's a market that happens, if it's a permanent market, or if it is a specific day. But we'll poke around here and we'll see if we can figure that out. Looks like an older little shopping street here. I'm gonna take this little alleyway here, cut cut over into what I believe is sort of a little square area, and maybe some restaurants. It might be a good place to grab lunch. Nice shot there. All right, had a nice snack right there, and yeah, we're gonna navigate our way over to the location of their local football stadium, just to give us a destination to navigate to and check it out. Again, just a super quaint little place. Loving these little canals and all the historic buildings in this area. Very beautiful. There's a nice view. And this will probably navigate us to some busier roads, but that's fine. I just want to get a sense as to what it's like to get around here in town. Take a look at this street that's completely paved in red bricks. And again, this is a great bit of infrastructure in the sense that it really sends a message to drivers that this is a slow space. They really shouldn't be driving quickly. Very nice. Also loving the greenery that this city is really working hard to integrate into the street design. It's very nice. Tricycle there. Again, for individuals who may not have the ability to ride a traditional bike anymore, having the ability to move over to an adaptive cycle, a tricycle like that, is really helpful. And when you have a safe and inviting network of facilities, it really helps. Looks like a park facility over there. Looks like this is a recreation facility, sports complex for the city. Mom and daughter, and taking the dog out for a walk. All right, we're coming up to a pretty standard Dutch roundabout scheme situation. You can see that the motor vehicle drivers are supposed to yield to people walking and biking, and they are doing that just fine. And you see how incredibly seamless that is. It's no skin off their nose. We make it through safely, and most importantly, we have avoided having to have a signalized intersection or a stop sign. Two of the banes of existence when it comes to riding a bike, having to stop unnecessarily. And you can tell as we're sort of heading out from the old historic city center that we've got a little bit more of a, I don't want to call it suburban context, but we've got some older, or I should say newer, you know, apartment complexes looks like they're from the maybe 50s, 60s, 70s on into the 80s, 90s, and we're getting closer to the edge of town, and that's the whole point of this ride, is to take us out to the football stadium, which I believe is right here and off to the left. And again, the point was to demonstrate that it's easy for fans to be able to get to the stadium by riding their bikes, which is what we want. And as you can tell, this is a series of two-way cycle tracks, and that maximizes the opportunities here for people to get to where they need to go. Sounds like they've got a lot of construction going on over at the stadium, so we won't actually go all the way over there, but I can show you on my screen here that's easily possible. Not sure if you can see that or not. Seems like my reflection might have been on screen. All right, well, now that we're on this nice facility here way off in the countryside, well, on the fringe of the urban to rural divide, maybe industrial. If you look in that direction, you can see some buildings. We can see in the distance, the windmills. If we were going to go over to the stadium, this is the turn onto what they're calling Stadium Weg, or Stadium Way, is right down there. All right, we are gonna see if we can navigate out to some other cool areas. I'll be right back. All right, we're gonna roll back this way past the stadium once again, and make our way to the ocean. How's that sound? It's gonna take us about 45 minutes to ride out there. I'm up for it. How about you? Let's give it a go. Okay, we're back here to this massive roundabout right where the stadium is. We can also see that this is the city limits for the city. And we're going to be skirting around the edge of the city. And then I believe diving back in to the outskirts off to the west as we make our way out to the ocean. I just want to touch base here and point out that we've got a roadway right over here, major roadway, little waterway canal, and these homes have their own private docks and or lanais facing the water. Very cool. All right, we are going to be turning right here on Kennemerstraat, making our way back into the city. So we should have a little bit of urban context once again. And see a little bit of transition here away from the pavers onto a typical bike lane here. Pretty much a door zone bikeway, which is pretty disappointing for most Dutch communities. Clearly there's a lot of cars here. They tend to be prioritized a little bit more than some of our bigger cities that we know so well. That's unfortunate. Got some kids riding around the city. Here we go. Again, nice tree-lined median there. We have a pretty brisk tailwind pushing us along. I don't know if you can tell, but I certainly can. Mostly because it's kind of chilly, but with the tailwind, I'm starting to get a little warm. Still plenty of sun. There's a beautiful windmill. We're going to be angling in that direction. Very nice. Okay, we're back where we took the plunge into the historic city center. We went over that bridge right there. And here in this location, we see we've got also a church to the left. Again, plenty of people motoring, having a good time in the canal system. It's a pretty warm day, but not overly hot. We're not seeing a bunch of people necessarily swimming, although these kids are right there playing on the waterfront. And some more families that have been out exploring. We're going around this rather big roundabout. This is definitely a big one. So this is kind of a cool little feature here. We've got a busy street. Now we actually have a nice protected bikeway. And you can see a person in a mobility device heading out towards the seashore as well. Not sure if he's going that far, but and I think we're going to be turning left up where these girls are turning left. They actually might be heading out our same direction, and it looks like we're going to get a nice fietspad. This is nice. Very wide red asphalt treatment. I think it's just for us. Very, very nice. And you can see the connections to all of the communities, residences right here. Very cool. And a nice underpass under the busy street, built in 1975. Very cool. Loving the mixture of the really old buildings over there, and you swing across and see some modern structures over here. Very cool. And I can tell that these girls up ahead of us have bikinis on underneath their clothes. So they are, as I suspected, also heading to the beach and the seashore. And again, you can see on the other side, couples are enjoying their ride. We do have a two-way cycle track on that side in red asphalt. We just have a normal black asphalt treatment here. Although it looks like theirs turns into black asphalt right at this intersection. Our destination is actually the aquarium, and we're about 27 minutes away on travel time, not on video time. You can see we're leaving the city limits right here. That's what that sign indicates. And just like that, we are in a nice rural environment. Got some horses hanging out and some sheep. Again, brings back memories. That was my two primary 4-H projects when I grew up: horses and sheep. Very cool. You can see more families on the other side. Good day for a ride in the countryside. Some more little sheep. Okay, we're out here on the wilderness fringe. Rural, sorry. Entering Bergen. Not to be confused with the Bergen in Norway. But we've got a little roundabout to navigate here. So, again, pretty standard Dutch feature, and I think we want to go this way. That wasn't as smooth as I had anticipated, but we still navigated it just fine. Alright, rolling past gas station into a shared street environment. Again, slow street by design. Got some traffic calming features like that little speed hump. And we're following this family in the left here. I suspect that they might be heading towards the beach as well. A very quiet little neighborhood here. All right. Alright, now we're turning right up here. Again, this is very reminiscent of the beautiful little residential communities near the ocean out on the other side of the Hague. I'm not sure if we'll see the same sand dunes that we saw there. And we're turning left on this Fietsstraten up here. There we go. That's a fun little traffic calming feature. Just sort of a hump in the middle of the tiny little intersection to give it the impression of like a little traffic calming roundabout. It's really just an illusion. It does ramp up, so there is a dome. Here's another one. Nicely done too, in the white bricks, so it's not paint. Very nice. This is a nice little Fietsstraat that we're on. You can see our 30 km/h sign there. We see the treatment, sort of a telltale sign of a Fietsstraat treatment. We've got the red asphalt across the entire length of it with a domed brick center median, and really sends a message to motor vehicle drivers that the auto is the guest and they should really pull back and be patient. All right. Wow, the dark trees. This is cool. I need to put my sunglasses on top of my hat. It's not bright enough for sunglasses. This is what's great about getting into the deep forest. And yes, it did cool off immediately once we got in here. You feel like you're in the heart of nature. Really an absolutely beautiful setting here in the forest. We're about 15 minutes out from our destination, which is the aquarium along the seafront shore, oceanfront. There's our Fietspad sign. Looks like she's turning. Some of the hiking paths in the forest. And a pretty steady stream of people coming back from the beach. Maybe it was too cold. Maybe they got their fill. You definitely get the feeling that you are in a high rent district here. We got some beautiful big homes. I'm sure these sell for a pretty penny. There's a beautiful one right there. And here's a nice little transition onto some red asphalt. Doesn't look particularly new, but you can see we've got a steady stream of people riding in both directions. And there's our sign for the aquarium. We'll be taking a right up here at the roundabout. And the aquarium is just a random, arbitrary destination I had to choose something. I chose this, assuming that some families might want to go to the aquarium versus just the beach, just the ocean front. Although that's pretty special, I'm sure. We'll pop over to the ocean front as well, but let's navigate our way to the aquarium first, just to say that we did it. Okay, doing a quick battery swap here on the front camera. Some girls are riding by. This is a really super cool, super comfortable, wide cycle path. It is near a busier street. Well, not that busy. Okay, we'll get front camera going again. We still feel blissfully in this forested land right here, so that is quite nice. And again, nice steady stream of families and couples riding by. It is holidays for many people, so we're seeing lots of folks out and about. It's a pretty nice day. Got a little bit of sunshine here and there. We'll take it. All right. We're less than 10 minutes away from the aquarium in ride time. Again, not necessarily video time. Okay, can you see all the grass bending there? That's because now I'm riding into a headwind and we are close to the ocean. Woo! You can feel it. These are also pine trees of some sort. I keep seeing little pine cones on the ground. Very cool. I didn't really expect to see pine trees here. We've got a little downhill. Still some brisk wind, but we'll take the downhill. Here's a family heading up. Here we go. Bergen on Zee. I'm assuming that means Bergen on the sea. And you see some what appears to be ocean goers. All right, we're about 2 minutes away. Looks like we've got some houses situated here along the ocean front. Very nice. Again, transitioning into some traffic calm streets with these oceanfront houses, neighborhood. And it's going to be really windy, so I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to hear of the narration. So I may have to narrate in post-production. I don't know. Can you guys see it? It's right there. The aquarium. Got a hotel here. Boom. Parking for the aquarium. Very nice. Okay, well that was really my point, was to show you all how easy it is to get from the urban environment, the city center, out to a couple of key things like the aquarium and also the football stadium. We will continue up over this hill right here to the ocean, but I know it's going to be very windy there, so I wanted to just pause to reflect on what we saw so far. So, okay, hold on to your hats. It's going to be breezy. Obviously this is paid parking, as you'd expect, the oceanfront. It does look like we've got some sand dunes here. We've got the bike parking at this spot. And then you've got the beach. All right, and it looks like we even have a cluster of surfers out trying to catch some of the wind-blown waves. And as you can tell, we're sort of sheltered from the wind a little bit right now. Not sure how much this is hitting the microphones, but you can see the flags up above. It's a pretty stiff breeze. It's pretty cool to see everybody out here enjoying their summer. Very nice. We won't stay here long because I've got other places to ride to, but let's see if anybody catches any of those surf blown waves over there, or the wind blown waves. I haven't seen anybody up yet. It looks like these are all rental surfboards. shallow out there too. I remember those days, scratching to try to catch any kind of wave. Cool. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this little ride to the ocean. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and share it with a friend. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Just click on that subscription button down below and ring the notifications bell. Well, I'm gonna hit the road. Until next time, this is John signing off by wishing you much activity, health, and happiness. Cheers. And again, just want to send a huge thank you to all my Active Towns ambassadors supporting the channel financially via YouTube memberships, YouTube super thanks, as well as making contributions to the nonprofit and joining my Patreon. Every little bit adds up and is very much appreciated. Thank you all so much.